what is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review the second album by Young Money. Basically, this product is called Young Money, Rise of an Empire, and it came out in the winter of 2014. So the name of this particular product is this is kind of a strange era for Young Money, and this particular Cash Money, as far as those pitches kind of happened with it, it's definitely a classic here, an underappreciated classic. I feel like the album that gets the main amount of accolades seemingly from like the Young Money fold within that particular fair would probably be the hit album from 2009, We Are Young Money. But this had a number of gems on here. It was just kind of at a time where things were just kind of more, this kind of came out at a time where things were kind of in a here and there type period, just with pitches like that. I mean, Drake was dominating with his Nothing Was the Same album, which was pretty good fair, but this was kind of a quiet spell for Nicki Minaj. She was kind of in between getting ready to put out the Pink Print, but it was just kind of, she wasn't there as much in late 2013, early 2014, so she has a couple hit songs on here, one of which is Looking Ass, which I forgot about that particular song. Just kind of some other type pitches. Birdman was not really around that much apart from Rich Gang. Lil Wayne was kind of in an off era. I mean, he had disc drop Dedication 5, but apart from apart from a mixtape, and then like a year before with I'm Not a Human Being 2, there wasn't as much. So it was just kind of a time. Drill rap was starting to sift away as far as those pitches kind of happened. Mixtape rap was kind of becoming a little bit quieter after like Meek Mill's Dream Chasers 3. So it was just kind of a period where I kind of remember the winter of 2014 being a little bit barer than particularly usual, just within the tone. But yeah, this is an easy classic here. Just has some excellent type pitches, just a great tone. Kind of get this one, just really kind of out of nowhere, just a quiet victory that just kind of happened. I want to say that I don't want to say that this is a forgettable album. I'm definitely going to give it like a classic score, but just kind of the concept, it just came out in like a more forgettable type time period where it just felt like it was just kind of pushed to the wayside and just was not as full-blown paid attention to, which is a disappointment because it definitely has the gems on here just within the pitch behind it. There's definitely some excellent type error, return to form. I want to say that, yeah, this album's actually good. I don't know nowadays what I would give We Are Young Money because I reviewed that back in 2016, but I would definitely have to say within the full-blown pitch behind it that this particular album would, I mean, they're both excellent type ones to get, and I'm trying to find more Young Money projects. Like I've said in numerous times, I've said in here and there places like my Acid Roots Wired gaming channel pitches like that I am looking for Young Money's Castle mixtape. I mean, it's unfortunate that at least the track list is not released, so we could at least know what some of those songs on there are, but I know that that's at least another Young Money project, and I know there's a Young Money mixtape that came out in 2005, but, you know, in terms of like the 2010s type fare of like Young Money, I have to say that Castle project's the only other one I can think of, but this is a classic here. So just being able to say, just me looking after, there were 3 singles off this product, and really, out of 15 songs, I'm reviewing the deluxe edition, which has 3 extra songs as far as those pitches kind of happen, and out of those particular 15 songs, there's really only 1 song I don't recommend, and we'll get to that one. But yeah, this album's going to get a 10 out of 10, so there's 3 singles off this album. The first single is We Alright, and it's a real nice one. It's like a crispy kind of night breeze, I'd feel like here, just a good late after hours kind of commerce and venue brewing to kind of have for some of that. Good type tone to kind of get this great song to sip slow to and just have some enjoy as far as those pitches going to happen. This really reminds me of like typical type fare of like late 2000s, early 2010s Young Money as far as those pitches going to happen. This picks up right where the last one left off. Good tone for that. Just reminds me of like, so it reminds of that single from like the Rich Gang album. I mean, I feel like We Alright just feels a little bit particularly swashed and a little bit left over within the tone behind it. Just a lot of these songs on here just feel like leftovers just within that particular type of appeal. I do like the tone of just overall having this particular sparkle and pizzazz. It's just some good concepts to be able to get because they turned into classics just within the excellent type fare behind it. But me trying to think of what was kind of dominant in rap in late 2013, early 2014. I mean, Yo Gotti was doing pretty well. Eminem had disc dropped Marshall Mathers LP2, Hopsin had disc dropped Knock Madness, so there were some good pitches about some of those particular type fares. But yeah, Lil Wayne was, I want to say this is around the era where Lil Wayne was starting to get past like his prime era, just, you know, after like the Carter 4 and maybe in some instances like Dedication 4, some of those type pitches. This was kind of an era where Lil Wayne was kind of shifting from like forefront of like the spotlight, which is unfortunate, but it's just kind of within the tone. Just kind of that was within the tone behind it. But Drake is really not on this album that much. He was just cresting up, and Nothing Was the Same. But even for him, I would have figured like he would have had like a few more show stealing verses. Like if it had been Biggie, and he had just had like a hit year, like from Life After Death, something like that, and they had put out something in 98, it would have been like the tone to just wonder what he would have done with after him having like a banner year. I'm just surprised that Drake didn't have like any leftover type hits on here apart from Trophies, which is a pretty good pitch, but I figured he would have at least been on here 1 or 2 extra times to have given to weighted this project. It's not like it needed it. I mean, this is going to get a classic score, but Drake is really not on here at all, apart from Trophies. You know, Nicki Minaj is at least on here twice, but it's just kind of within the tone. It's just the emphasis behind the hits on here are coming from folks. Really, Tyga came through pretty heavily. Some of these folks like Lil Twist, some of those type folks that were kind of quieter on the first Young Money album are on here in a lot better display. But Gutta Gutta's not on here that much, which is surprising. So it's just kind of within the tone. But yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's some new folks on here. Mac Main is on here. Euro's on here. It's just kind of within the concept. But so Trophies is the second single, and this is the Drake only song, which is a good pitch for that. It's like an interesting kind of leftover from Drake's 2013 album. Nothing Was the Same. Good pitch for that. This song is pretty bravado filled, this sports game kind of stunt song I'd have to say here, and just some loud fun to kind of get. It really feels like something you'd hear in like a basketball game, some of that type fare, just standard bravado, just, you know, victory lap kind of clink cups as far as those pitches kind of happen, just have some good night times and just pop champagne pitches like that. Good, excellent type fare. I mean, Drake at this particular stage was at such a height, it was just kind of the concept that he was just doing everything right around that particular time. It was just kind of within the tone that like I was saying, it's just surprising that he didn't have a few more kind of moments on this particular album to kind of deliver a little bit more. I mean, I'm glad for what we got here, just because I originally think that Trophies was supposed to be on Nothing Was the Same. I remember hearing about that in like the hip hop headways back in the day, but they just saved it for this particular album. It was just a good concept for that, but yeah, Drake's not really on here. But it's not like I was saying, it's still a classic, so it's a good tone. But it's just kind of the pitch that Drake just doesn't steal the show this time. Looking Ass is the third single. This is another nice. Looking Ass is the third single. It's a pretty nice one. This is a Nicki Minaj only song. It's pretty good concept here, just within the tone. Remember this song from back in the day, but didn't pay as much attention to it back in those days. But it is a pretty excellent type pitch, kind of get here just within that. Do you remember it being in like the headway, some of that type fare? It's like a bubbling kind of night venue tea to kind of get here. Just good concept for that. Just a gossip type song. Just basic tea type music. In between kind of demon time creeping, I would definitely say just Ruffled Day kind of buzzing, kind of secret Nicki Minaj kind of have just within the tone. So Ruffled Day, I just made just a little bit more, not necessarily bad hair day, but just kind of the concept, but just maybe just a little bit of like bothersome type day, just maybe mild annoyance to some pitches like that. Just kind of preoccupied something on your mind just within the tone as far as those pitches kind of happen. Good type gem to kind of get Nicki Minaj on that usual type fare. I mean, it's just a different type of format from what Nicki Minaj typically kind of has on like some of her songs around this particular time. Very different from Starships, very different from Pound the Alarm, very different from Baba Boom and Super Bass, some of those type ones, Your Love, some of those type hits from her Pink Friday days, I'd say in particular. This kind of has a little bit more of like a glaring nightclub type brewiness about it just in particular, but it is a good song just within the pitch, just a little bit more, it says a little bit more menace and drawl about it just within the tone. But I do like the tone as far as that particular kind of goes. Just more of like a Nicki Minaj type song on like the 3-6 Mafia type vibes of more mug type music, and just Smoke and Night Traverse pitches like that are just kind of standard brewing and marinate just within the club in a more just kind of ruffled kind of atmosphere, I'd say, within the tone. But works pretty well for what it is. Good concept for that. I do like the tone behind it. It's almost kind of like a bickering song, I just would have to say. But yeah, I look after it. So like I was saying, out of 15 songs on here, I wound up recommending every song just with the exception that You Already Know. So basically that one's just kind of a hammy type one. Just kind of, You Already Know is just kind of a hammy type one. Just over kind of, that one, You Already Know is just kind of a hammy type one. Just kind of pedestrian type feel just within the tone behind it. Just a little bit more homely of type one. Not necessarily homely, but just kind of within the pitch of just everyday type feel. Just a standard kind of awkward kind of day. Just not really much kind of commerce about it, not really so much like venue type noise or pitch like that, just kind of an in between, not so much house clean type music, but just kind of pedestrian, just not really much kind of direction with it as far as those pitch kind of happen, which is good. I do like those particular type songs, but just the production on that song just didn't nail it enough within the emphasis of trying to do something like that. I mean, when you think of folks like Tupac, Lil Wayne, Tech Nine, Eminem pulling off some of those type moments, this kind of concept just didn't deliver nearly as well. It's too bad because Gutta Gutta and Mac Main and Ja Mills and some of those type folks, PJ Morton were kind of on there, but this was kind of an awkward type one, just I'd say. But yeah, this album gets a 10 out of 10, 14 out of 15, obviously pretty severely excellent. Makes me question what I would give We Are Young Money from 2009 nowadays. Probably that would, I would have to say that album from 2009 is definitely a classic, just with the impact behind it. You know, Every Girl, Bedrock, Roger That, some of those type ones are just classic type appeals, easy highlights out of the early 2010s. But yeah, this is an easy classic here. Overlooked in nowadays times, definitely should have sold more than it did. I just feel like this kind of was with the time where it just kind of came and went just within the pitch behind it. But definitely some good type fare looking back nowadays. That's what I'd say. But yeah, I would definitely recommend picking up the CD edition of this particular album, even if you have to buy the album twice, because the deluxe edition with the 3 extra songs is definitely worth it. Lil Wayne's on a number of these, which is some pretty good fare. Deluxe edition, all 3 of the songs I recommend. recommend, so definitely get that one. But then you can only get the song Hittin' Like with Chanel and Chanel West Coast on like the CD edition, and that song is worth it. Now I don't know if it's on Chanel's mixtape. I don't know if you can actually, I don't know if you have to purchase Chanel's mixtape or if it's just there for free. But the song number 7, Hittin' Like, is definitely worth it when it's only available on the CD edition. So that's just some good type fare. But yeah, so basically Senile is a nice one. It's like a glaring and kind of high as hell nightclub pizzazz kind of get here. Definitely some flashy fun, typical kind of stunt night I'd feel like here. Get hammered, go hard as far as those pitches going to happen. Has one of the best beats on the album in terms of like the night pizzazz as far as those pitches going to happen with it. Did some excellent type fare with it. It has Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne on here, so it's a good type pitch to get another Nicki Minaj verse just within that particular tone. Seeing once again what she was up to early 2014. Originally, this was going to be on Tyga's album. I remember him having some songs. I want to say it was either him or Young Thug that did a song with Justin Bieber called Hookah, one of those type pitches, but it's just some good type fare that kind of get this nightclub blitz on here. This sort of pizzazz that We Are Young Money didn't have as full blown. This has a little bit more stunt typeness, kind of get a lot more pizzazz on here. There's some ones on here like, another one that kind of does that is Back It Up. So that's a good nice one, so I'll talk about that one. Back It Up is like a bleary and kind of warped venue slap. I would definitely feel like here it just goes great with Senile, like I was saying, definite flash and evening sparkle, kind of get within that tone. Now this one is a Lex Luger beat, which is a pretty good fare for that, but both these songs sound pretty similar just within the pitch behind it, just would have to say. It's an excellent type 1. And then I would say another nice one for that particular fare is Bang. This is another great combo with Senile. I would definitely feel like, and Back It Up, I'd have to say here, it feels like vintage. This feels like a vintage kind of mixtape gem and drill-like highlight. I would feel like here within that pitch, and this is just like a litty kind of club pounder kind of gets. So it's just some good nice typeness. Now the thing about it is they shift up the ties. Like compared to last time on We Are Young Money when Lil Wayne was on virtually every song, there are some different folks on here. I like the fact that Lil Twist and Euro are showcased on this product, and then Corey Guns is on here as far as those fares going to happen. Corey Guns is the cat from like Lil Wayne's 6 Foot, 7 Foot, the second cat that rapped on that particular song. So he's on here at least a small couple of times. It's just within the pitch, but every song is different. That's kind of done. This one has a little bit more variety compared to last time. I mean, Tyga definitely has some good verses on here. Euro's on here a couple times or a few times. For the most part, some folks will just only be on one song, so you'll just get like some folks. Nicki Minaj has one solo song. Drake has one solo song. Euro has one solo song. Lil Wayne has one solo song. It's kind of within the pitch. This album does not just have full-blown posse songs where you get like a variety of folks with what you get like it was on We Are Young Money. So it's a different type fare, but it doesn't detract from it. So it's good fare for that. Lil Wayne's solo song Moment is a nice one. It's like a woozy and kind of emphatic blur, I'd say, about this one. Goes great with We All Right, the lead single, I'd have to say here. Just a nice placeholder for like some 2014 Weezy. I'd have to feel like within that pitch, and it's just like a routine bop. So this very blurry type of feel. Same sort of emphasis as like the Rich Gang album. I forget some of the songs up there. I need to throw that particular Rich Gang album on my new MP3 player as far as those pitches going to happen, but very similar to like the singles off of Rich Gang from 2013, and then We All Right just within that time. Just kind of a more blurry, kind of quick times type fare as far as those pitches going to happen. Just real nice night breeze, some of those type ones, but Moments is another nice one. Typical Lil Wayne. Another nice blurry one that has some pretty good emphasis on here. Surprisingly, a chick that's not on this project that much is Chanel. It feels like both her songs are kind of more secretive to kind of get. Like Hittin' Like's only on the physical edition, and Catch Me at the Light's only on the deluxe edition. But Catch Me at the Light's a nice one. It's like a blurry kind of quick times and butter smooth kind of gelling to kind of get here. Good concept for that as far as those pitches going to happen. It's a rosy kind of nightlife and jazzy step out. I would feel like here it's a pretty crisp song to kind of get. So I like Yo Gotti being on this particular song. Excellent type fare for that. Just date night type music, just within tone, is good. Basic kind of bell is about to kind of get within that fare, just some step out, just within that particular pizzazz. Social night fare, just within the outing of this weekend thrills and just overall this pizzazz of it, just within the fare. So some good pitches for that. Good times gonna have within that fare, just would have to say. Definitely worth investing in the deluxe edition and get that song. But another nice one for that would be Video Model with Christina Milian and Lil Wayne. This is a real nice blitzing one. It's like a flavorful kind of dance club heat, I feel like, about this. Just a nice return of Christina Milian. I think she was kind of affiliated with Young Money around this time. She never put out an album like she probably should have, but still an excellent type pitch to get a song from her after pretty much not much being heard out of her since like the mid 2000s. It's like some good late shift EDM hitter to kind of get within that tone. Definitely 2014 EDM was kind of starting to swash away a little bit, but still some good type fare to have some of that left over. Great radio grab to kind of have on this particular song. A very dope one to kind of get. So Lil Wayne, don't really recall too many times where Lil Wayne was on EDM as far as those pitches kind of happen. That's kind of an era that he kind of skipped over. He was kind of more in like the drill and early 2010s traps as far as those pitches kind of happen, but it's an excellent type pitch. It's an excellent type pitch kind of get him on one of those type songs that was kind of trendy to like the early 2010s. The secret song on the physical edition, Hit and Like, was Chanel, and Chanel West Coast is pretty excellent type fare. Chanel West Coast definitely should have been on here more. She was another Young Money affiliate like Christina Milian that was kind of around, just kind of amongst that kind of slime as far as those pitches kind of happen, but she never really, I want to say she might have dropped a mixtape with them, some pitches like that. I'm not as full-blown sure, we'll have to see about that, but yeah, it's like an excellent kind of secret album cut, I would say here. Just hella bass and dance club pizzazz kind of get off this particular song. Definitely worth the invest to kind of pick up the physical edition. I bought this particular album back in the day, and I do appreciate the concept of having this song. Excellent type fare, and it's like a good social spike to kind of get within that. So excellent type jazz kind of get out this particular song. Some good type fare, another good. I'm definitely going to have to say that the social score of this album is going to get a pretty blitz type overall score just within the pitch as far as the impact of it kind of happens. There's just plenty of these senile, hit and like, video model, bang, back it up, we alright, plenty of these type ones kind of have within that fare. Even looking at some of these type ones, moments, it's just pretty overall social blur, just like how that particular kind of goes. Fresher Than Ever is a nice one on here. It's like an eerie kind of nightclub jazz, I'd say, about this song. This vintage kind of early 2010s Young Money kind of get. This one just throws, this particular song's more of a throwback to like We Are Young Money or like Birdman's 2009 album Priceless, I'd have to say. It's kind of an ambient vibe, I'd have to say, about this one. Good song to smoke and gab to as far as this pitch kind of happens. So it's just pretty, it's more similar to like We All Right, a little bit more of that particular type fare, but this has pretty good tone. It's more marinate in the nightclub as far as this pitch kind of happen. It's a little bit more basking, kickback, so simple kind of social sparks as far as those pitch going to happen, but definitely works within the pizzazz behind it. One Time is a quality one as well. It's like a fizzy kind of vanilla night venue breeze kind of get within that tone. Just a simple kind of marinate and enjoy. I would definitely feel like about this song, just a bellows kind of buzzer kind of have, just simple kind of noise and just kind of pitch like that for just bellows in the mixture as far as that pitch kind of happens with it. Just entry kind of kickoff hit to kind of have within that tone. So it's just some simple kind of marinate, just simple kind of dance club, just noise, simple kind of dance club noise, and just the ambience of being out and about, just within the tone of like, just more of like a fizzy type song, just a more flavorful type night, just within the tone of being able to get towards it. Not so much like standard kind of 2010s trap, kind of dark turn up within the tone, not more like Future and Yo Gotti-esque, but just a little bit more vanilla type tone, just a little bit more ambience. Probably more on the tone of like songs like Video Model and like, yeah, probably just more songs like that. I'd say just a little bit more vanilla within the pitch, but it is an excellent type one. Feels like a song that Justin Bieber would have been on around that particular time, or Sean Kingston, some of those type folks, but it's an excellent type fare. So, I think I've talked about every song on here minus, oh yeah, there's another one, Induction Speech. This is a Euro exclusive song, so it's a good pitch for that. It's like a dreary but emphatic kind of nightclub marination kind of get here. Good concept of that. It's like a feel-good kind of pop, corks, and social fizz kind of have off this particular song. It's just a song that dazzles pretty well. This really feels like a song, it's like a song that feels like something Meek Mill would kind of have been on, or Yo Gotti, one of those type folks. This feels like almost kind of a mixtape type cut. Lil Wayne probably could have been on this song as well. Some good type fare to kind of get that one. The simple kind of, it's another one that feels pretty similar to like We All Right, I'd have to say, within that particular type fare. Yeah, this is just like a typical kind of Young Money type cut with this Euro only on it. I do like the concept of them trying to introduce Euro a lot more. It's too bad that he didn't drop more albums as far as pitches like that kind of happen. Maybe he dropped mixtapes. This is kind of within the tone. He was just kind of here and there around that time. This is a good type one. Like I was saying, very similar to We All Right, some of those type ones, maybe a little bit. There's another song on here I was trying to think of. Like, Induction Speech is pretty similar to We All Right and Moment as far as those pitches can happen. Just a good sprawling type one to kind of have within that tone. Just good emphasis for that one. Good pitches for that. So yeah, I would have to say, I think that's about every song on here I've covered. Oh yeah, there's another one on here. So Good Day off the deluxe edition. This is a real nice one. This particularly has Tyga, Meek Mill, and Lil Wayne on here. Good, excellent type fare for that one. So Good Day is like a spiffy kind of two-step, kind of pseudo ringtone rap, kind of dance cut to kind of get here within that tone. Just a simple bounce about it, but it is a beast of a song, I'd have to say. Good night primer to kind of have. So this is some good excitement here to kind of get. This is the sort of song, glad this was on the deluxe edition as far as those pitches kind of happen. Just a throwback kind of like the late 2000s. Good type bop to kind of get within that tone. Excellent type song to have Lil Wayne, Meek Mill, and Tyga kind of shred off this particular one. Yeah, Good Day kind of feels like ratchet type music from like 2014 to the DJ Mustard type sound, some of those type pitches, R and bass, some of that, but also with like a ringtone type fare like the mid-late 2000s as far as those pitches kind of happen. So it's just nice kind of snappy type one to kind of get. This real nice kind of in-your-face type one that just has a lot of good draw about it and just really nails it within the tone. Just real spiffy type one. So yeah, this album gets a 10 out of 10. The social score I'm going to give a 10 out of 10 also. There's just a lot of particular gems on this product. Pretty good emphasized type social spark about a lot of these. Just songs like some EDM type ones like Video Model, some breezy kind of ones like One Time, some good nightclub and kind of ratchet type music like Senile, Bang and Back It Up, some good kind of mixtape type heat like Looking Ass and some of those type of ones. I'd probably say there's at least another one like that on here, like Induction Speech and We All Right, some of those type of ones. There's some good mixtape gems on here to kind of get a good bravado type one and good more social outing type one, like a more sports game type sense like Trophy. So there's just some victory lap type music, plenty of good pitches like that. So overall pretty good balance. This has the tone. The only reason why I wouldn't get a 10 out of 10 is just because of the fare. I realize that this album just doesn't have the mammoth kind of hits like Every Girl and Bedrock, some of those type fares. I mean, these are good songs on here, and it's surprising that Trophies had gotten over 400 million plays on Spotify. I just kind of look after it, just kind of within the concept that, like I was saying, it just was kind of at an awkward time for Young Money as they kind of got shifted back into like the background a little bit more, just with Lil Wayne and most of Young Money kind of phasing somewhat out of the spotlights just within the time. But it is some excellent type fare. I'm gonna give it a 10 just because the impact and just the overall appeal and just the variety behind it. So in terms of the future, like Young Money has not really dropped a project since 2014. Now they have dropped plenty of mixtapes. There's the obvious Nicki Minaj, Drake projects, Lil Wayne projects, Gutta Gutta, it's folks like that, Tyga, some of these type of folks that have dropped things. I'm gonna have to get to some of these ones like Lil Twist, Chanel, some of those type fares, but I just look after within the tone. Like I said, there's not terribly much more Young Money to get to. If I could ever find that Castle project, including like the track list, I would definitely get to that. And then on top of that, there is the Young Money mixtape from 2005, which is a double mixtape. Just being able to say there's two discs to that as far as that particular one goes. But there's some other stuff just within the tone. There might be some other ones floating around, but yeah, this is a classic here, very underappreciated, kind of forgotten about, good gem to kind of get within that tone.